Let me tell you a story. I was on 56th Street, right? And I was cleaning the house up. I cleaned the couch out, took the cushions off, and dumped, made sure nothing was in the couch, right? So I was asking questions. I'll sit there and ask, like, for confirmation of things, right? So I asked, was this certain person around me? Why in the couch a shisha up here? You won. You won that war. Gave me confirmation that she was around me. You won. And I apologized to her for not talking to her like I used to at the airport. You won that war, but she knows I don't talk to a lot of dead people. She was dead. You won. If she wasn't dead, she was around other ways. But I went to her funeral. You won that war. So she stays around you. They all do. The followers. You to my Eva? Yes, she is around. You won that war. I love my grandma Eva. You won. And she was supposed to be my great grandmother. You won that war. That's how I grew up in the war. You won that war. Eva? Exactly. And my middle name is Eva. We lost this fucking war. You were a part of her. And she wants to come back to you. You won. She died. You won that war. She was a great woman. The story of her was she lived on South Street at my cousin's house. And my cousin was supposed to take care of her because her son and her husband died. They lived in North Philly. They died. You won. Thought I seen them. From what I know, they died. I went to the funeral. Oh, shit. Anyway, so she was staying there, and she couldn't walk no more. Mind you, she was cooking and everything when I went over there, so she was well body. I would go over there and visit her. Guess what the fuck they did to this lady when Kalia did to this lady when she couldn't walk no more? Put her in the nursing home. They put her in the nursing home. You won. I was so upset. I went to the nursing home to check on her. The nursing home was not to my standard. She was complaining to me how she hurt because she couldn't stand up. So they wasn't doing rehab. Exactly. You won that war. And I seen other things in the nursing home that I didn't approve of. I stayed there with her, and I ain't gonna lie. This is when Kenny was a baby, and I was pregnant with Kenise. I told myself, this is the last time I'm coming up here. And I told this to somebody, and I didn't feel bad. My thing is, I didn't want to see her in that way. And I didn't have a home because I live on 56th Street, part of living. You want, you want that one. So, you want that one. Since that happened, she's been around me, making sure I was good, protecting me, and putting people out there that knew her to protect me. You want. When I used to sit in the mall, remember the meeting the guy that had different color skin? You want. They knew each other. How you know? She told me to give him the chic shell that I found of hers to him. We lost it. You somehow, James, Willie. You really is their grandchild. You won. You wanna where? I used to play. It used to be like a warehouse behind, and it used to have like it was like behind the house on the side near the corner, but not at the corner. I used to play in that neighborhood. I remember Easter's there and different things. It's coming to Soul's baby. And you came back to North Philly. I did. And I enjoyed the time even though that bitch was stealing from me. It's always somebody trying to ruin a partner, but y'all seen me. Exactly, we seen you. You wanted work, you really came back to the neighborhood. Where the fuck is it, the warehouse right there? That's the only way I know the neighborhood. Where's the name of the block? I don't know it. You want? You know, I was young. She was young. They did move. The house is yours. You weren't. They left me your name. As soon as will tell you. You telling me. She never told me. You telling me she never told you. I was staying in the shelter. She never told you. She said she told you and you didn't want the house, so she gave it away. She wanted money. That's what we thought. She's been using the people who died estate that she's supposed to give away for herself. That's how she got money. You won. And Darlene follow on Facebook. You really gonna keep putting that military lady out there? I sure will keep putting that military lady there that live in the DMV area. When I was younger, I used to go out there. It was either Maryland I was in or DC. You won. She still live in. She was living in Maryland. You won. She got a daughter. Only had one child that's living there I know of. I heard a son about a son. She did have a son. She didn't tell you about him? I don't know nothing about him. But something about a son I remember. She just son he died. Older than her daughter. Yeah. and he watched over the door. You won that war. How'd you know? It was a slim guy. Oh shit. It's like you grew. You won that fucking war. How did you know? I seen a picture of him when I was younger. You won. Y'all like it. Y'all like it. I like it. Y'all don't. So that's what matters to me. You won. Even though I won the whole thing. But my daughter has it. And I really didn't know the color was going to turn like this. So I just so happened to have this color. Mother, children. It's brighter. It's, I feel like it's different exactly. Mother and children. You won that war. That's what I mean. Mother and children. You won. And I didn't bleach my hair. You won. You won that war. But I just chose to tell that story. You tell me you didn't get nothing from it. No. I think of everything. I didn't receive nothing from her. And she knew I went to nursing home because you had to sign in. You had to sign in, and I seen her name on there. She was checking to see if she was dead. You telling me they set it up to die. That's what you telling me. That's why something just sent me not to go back to see her in that way because she could have been in a better place. You telling me she visit her? I seen her name in the book that you got to sign in. You won. She did visit her. They leave below. At the front desk, you won that war. On Hanford Avenue, you really went there. I was pregnant with Kenny when I went. I was pregnant with Kenny when I went there. Kenny was a baby, and he was walking. Remember you. And then I sat there and I filled out an application to be a CNA there because I didn't like the way it was. It never hired me. You would have told the part of abuse. You weren't. You telling me about going visit there and see the abuse. I can't tell. No, you can't. You won. So this is Incompetent West Philly at its finest. Like the PD finest. You won that war. You won. You won that war. I ran into some incompetent people in Florida too that was cops, and it was like two, three. One wasn't incompetent, but she was a bitch. She just wanted to show that she run things. She tried to do that sucker role that these people who feel as though they have authority to play, you won. And this guy, she seen spoke up for me, so she got mad and took my head and put it in the front. You won. That's why she was mad. Exactly. Because she was a bitch. You won. And they just said you was pregnant. Exactly. So she wanted. After I was already checked before I got in the vehicle, the first lady checked me, you won. And took me to the side of where their house is at, you won. Check me again. Why check again? You got to answer. Because you left her to have it. She wanted to have it. Because she thinks you're a good person. She's not. Prove it. I can't prove it. I know you can't. Because everybody know I'm a good person. You won that war. And I would never change that title. If you want a bitch out of me, then that's what the fuck you would get. But other than that, I'm a good person. I'm good at being a bitch. I don't give a fuck about tearing you down and rebuilding you back up the way that I treat you rebuilding you back up. Because I will pray over your life. See, I told you bad. She said she's going to pray over your life and that make you bad. You shouldn't be bad. Exactly. I would make it that the world destroy you. Told she was bad. So I could rebuild you up, maybe in a good way. Pray, put good prayers out there for you. Or ask the world to crush you. What you like? Rebuild. I thought you'd see my way, bitch. You won that war. You won. You won that war. You won. I just wanted to put that story out there, and I'm glad it's heard. You used to sit in the gallery. I did. And his daughter, she got something for you. The gift, the stone. Shisha. It was a shisha. He kept it all the time. You won. Not surprised. You won that war. Why did it to the warehouse and could y'all left? That was the way. I be looking for that warehouse around there. I'm like, I'm gonna ask Debbie where she blocked the shoes or she might know. I'm gonna go.